This episode may ruin your need to plan everything. Today's episode is a weirdly fascinating one, a surprisingly enlightening one, and hopefully a relatable one. We're talking about my obsession with true crime, why I used to watch it like homework, and how I finally learned to just enjoy it. Because for years, my brain defaulted to turning every documentary into a blueprint for disaster and every crime story into a training manual. Until one day, it clicked for me. Maybe safety doesn't actually come from preparing for every possible worst-case scenario. Welcome to my mind. It's a lot. If your brain quietly takes notes while everyone else is following the plot, you might also be a human who associates planning with safety. So let's talk about it. Hi, welcome back to Sweet and Sour Sessions, the show where we take life's chaos, mix it with a little self-awareness, a dash of humor, and serve it up in a way that makes you think, okay, maybe I am going to be all right. I'm Erin, your host, narrator, and fellow human. And today's episode is a confession and a discovery, because I'm talking about why I, an absolute planner, a spreadsheet-loving, scenario-mapping girl, am obsessed with true crime. And yet, I sleep like a baby. And I mean, honestly, I love true crime. It is the genre I consume the most of. Doesn't matter what format. Books, podcasts, documentaries, you name it. If it's true crime, I'm into it. Like, it may be unhealthy how much true crime I binge. Which is actually what got me thinking. Why can I watch the darkest true crime show? Some you should not be watching this before bed type of documentary, and still sleep peacefully. No nightmares, no 3 a.m., what if someone's in the closet moment, nothing. And I think I finally figured out why. It's because my brain isn't just watching true crime for entertainment. It's watching for research. It hit me one night mid-episode of Untamed on Netflix. Most people would call that show horrifying, or at the very least, disturbing. And I'm sitting there like, wow, excellent example of what not to do. My brain doesn't flinch. It takes notes. See, if you're a planner, you already know. Everything is information. Everything is data. Everything is part of the master file. No detail is wasted, and no scenario is too bizarre to consider. If you tell a planner a story about your cousin's friend who got locked out of her house and had to scale the back deck in high heels, yeah, we're quietly filing that under wear practical shoes, hide a spare key, avoid decks. We're like those squirrels who bury nuts for the winter, except the nuts are data, and winter is every possible catastrophe. Isn't that wild? People assume that watching something horrific will breed fear. But for planners, it can be almost soothing. Because fear for us comes from the not knowing, not being prepared. When we think, I'll freeze, I won't know what to do, I won't know all the answers, something bad could happen and I won't be able to handle it. Fear comes from not trusting that we'll know exactly what to do when the moment comes. So true crime becomes this strange little pacifier. This, oh, okay, now I at least know what not to do. Not necessarily what to do, just where the potholes are. And our brains go, no worries, babe. I'll just simulate every possible disaster in advance. For fun. Like a cozy little bedtime story. It's like we're building blueprints for disasters that may never even happen. A little architectural digest of doom, if you will. Basically, it accumulates to a blueprint for survival. Now, let me tell you what my planner brain actually looks like. If you tuned into last week's episode, you got a preview of this already, but stick with me. I am a visual person. I see images and am able to conjure up things in my brain very clearly. And the best way I can describe what the inside of my brain looks like is the command center from Pixar's Inside Out. But it's not just some small command center and like operating table. No, this is a full on operations hub. Like, it's basically what NASA, air traffic control, and the Genius Bar having a baby would look like. And running the entire operation, every button, every lever, every emergency alarm, is Planner Erin. She has been the CEO for a long time. She has the headset on. She's very busy. Somehow she has 8 arms working independently, all at the same time. Kind of like an anxiety octopus. She is planning for everything before it happens. She is pulling future problems into the present because she refuses to be caught off guard. But even though Planner Erin means well and is good-natured, she has her own red flags. Mostly that just because she can do everything doesn't mean that she should. And after years of constant vigilance, constant simulation, constant future proofing, guess what? She burned out hard because she has been exhausted. And what happens when the person running the command center burns out? She gets told to sit down, take off her headset, and let someone else drive for a bit. And for nearly the last 2 years, she's actually let the other Erins come forward. Yeah, in my control panel in my brain, there's actually a bunch of different Erins. There's Erin who rests, Erin who trusts, Erin who listens to her intuition instead of her contingency plans, Erin who isn't constantly bracing for disaster. And surprise, surprise, we started thriving once those Erins got to step up. Turns out, they're also pretty good at the controls. So here's the hard part that feels like swallowing a hard truth. The version of you who knows how to handle the disaster, she doesn't exist yet. She's created in the moment, forged by the heat of it, called up by something ancient and instinctive and powerful inside of you. You can't prepare to be her. You become her. She is born in the moment that you actually need her, which is horrifying and also liberating. But I'll tell you, my brain hates that. Planner Erin especially hates that. She's like, excuse me? We're relying on a future, hypothetical version of me? Absolutely not. Put me back in charge. But the truth is, trust is what makes us brave, not preparation. We can't pre-live every crisis. We can't pre-practice every escape route. The you who will know what to do will show up exactly when they are needed. And letting ourselves believe that, that's major freedom. I used to think that learning meant gathering as much information from the world as possible. Basically building an encyclopedia of every possibility. But I'm realizing the most important learning is about me. What I trust, what I can release, what doesn't have to be planned, which version of me gets to step up to the mic inside of my mind for any given scenario. The command center is still there, but it's calmer now. It's quiet enough to hear myself, balanced enough that Planner Erin doesn't have to run the whole show by herself. And honestly, it feels amazing. It feels like peace. And here's the part that surprised me the most. Now that I actually see how much planning, analyzing, and quiet note-taking I was doing during every true crime episode, I can't unsee it. I'll be halfway through a show and catch myself waiting for the lesson. Okay, what do we take away from this one? Trust no one? Only window shop on well-lit streets? Don't marry a man with a shed? But the more the other Erins have stepped up, the Erin who trusts, the Erin who rests, the Erin who lets go, the more something really beautiful has happened. I don't have to watch true crime like I'm preparing for an exam anymore. I can sit on the couch, cue up something dark and twisty, and just watch it. No contingency plans, no mental flow charts, no, but if that were me, spirals. Just entertainment, just storytelling, just enjoyment. It feels like a weighted blanket I didn't even realize I had draped over me. Because safety doesn't come from preparation anymore. At least, it comes less from preparation. Now, it comes more from trust. Trust that I don't need a database of disasters to be okay. Trust that future me will handle whatever comes when it actually comes. So now, when I play a new true crime episode, I'm not building a blueprint. I'm not running a drill. I'm not pre-living the catastrophe. I'm just watching the show and letting it be a show. And the freedom in that, that's unmatched. So, if you're like me, a planner, a preparer, a collector of just-in-case information, a connoisseur of true crime as self-soothing, maybe you're not strange. Maybe your brain has been trying to protect you, trying to keep you safe in the only language it knows. But you deserve to feel safe without constantly rehearsing disaster. Trust that the version of you who will handle the storm will be born exactly when the storm occurs. Let the future you do her job when the time comes. She's going to be so capable. She always has been. And planner you, she can rest sometimes. Thanks for being here for another Sweet and Sour session. Take care of yourselves and let your command center take a coffee break every once in a while. I'll see you next time.